Dude, I did this so bad.
We don't want to look like to your crew chief here.
Yeah, we don't want to look like we're soft. Is it you or the car?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, everybody? David Gravel here. We finally branded the show. We're calling it the Gravel Show. We're really excited to continue on this podcast, live, whatever you want to call it. We're trying hard to improve our quality of our show every year, and this year's no exception. We're working hard for a cool background. We have a nice camera. We're going to have an awesome mic here coming up for next week. This week is going to be just introduction, a review of the season. There's so much to talk about with all the news between High Limit, World of Outlaws, dates, big money races, where are these series going? And I felt like I didn't want to get this too late past World Finals to talk about my season. And then after we talk about that, then we could have guests on the show and talk about a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun stories. I plan on having crew chiefs on this year. Definitely going to have Cody Jacobs on. Would love to have Rico back and hopefully Ricky Warner. And then obviously later in the show, we're going to talk about who you guys want to see. Maybe we'll do a couple fan votes and see if we could win. But love to have somebody like Zeb Wise, all-star champion, and maybe some guys in the media, maybe Justin Fiedler from Dirt Tracker, Jeremy Elliott from SprintCarUnlimited.com. But man, what a season for us. We're really, really proud of all we accomplished. The never give up attitude. We just always fought no matter what happened, like the Knoxville Nationals, at Jackson when we had to be in the work area almost every night, and made the best of the cards we were dealt. And I truly felt like we were the fastest and best car on the World of Outlaw Tour. But it is what it is. This is the cards we were dealt, and very, very, very proud. So I'm just going to start off by thanking, Todd Clearing, everybody at Big Game Motorsports, Taylor, Andrew, Lisa, their whole family, Luke. They've been great to me, treated me very well, and given me the tools to do what I need to do on and off the track. So, Houston Speedway, Billion Automotive, Jackson Motorplex, High Performance Lubricants, JRC Transportation. Let's see who else. Morrison Engines, Butler Built Seats, Simpson Racing Products. Those two companies keeping me safe, providing me everything what I need to look good and be safe. Got to thank Berryman Suspension, BK Titanium. There's a lot of product sponsors that do help us out, and appreciate them to help keep us going and make it easier to have everything we need going up and down the road. So I'm going to start by talking about my season, have some stats for you guys. We won 12 World of Outlaw races, which is 16% win percentage, which is pretty good, 13 wins overall. We had 18 second place finishes with the World of Outlaws. So 25% of the time we ran second, which I think is a pretty cool goal, or not goal, but cool stat. Man, a quarter of the time you're going to run second. That's pretty damn good. 35 podiums. So you doubled that number to 35 podiums, and we're just shy of 49%. So pretty much half the races we were on the podium. So another really strong number. Pretty something I'm proud of, something that Cody and Scott and Zach should be very proud of as well. That's a pretty high number there, and 61 top 10s out of 72 races. So that's at 85% on being in the top 10. We obviously talked about my struggles or my problems with the reason why we didn't win that World of Outlaw Championship. Obviously, that was our goal, was to win a World of Outlaw Championship this year, and felt like we were capable of doing it. But just to go in order with our season, with our woes we've had. So I think we won 2 races, I believe, in Volusia, and then we got second the next race, and then I believe it was Logan or somebody blew a tire in the feature on the last night at Volusia. So Jacob Allen woed way down, and I was sliding somebody for position, and we pretty much met in the middle. And I hit Jacob, and it smashed my header, broke our frame out. Had to go to the work area, and the guys were able to patch it up. We literally hole sawed holes in the headers because they're smashed flush, and didn't let any air out. So we pretty much were hurting a motor there. Frame was knocked out. We were able to rebound and get back to 12th. So I felt like that night, obviously, we would have finished better, but that's what championship seasons are for when you run 12th after being in the work area when your car is banged up. Our next bad night was one of my biggest regrets on the season was US 36. I believe I was running third or fourth. During the feature in turn one. I got too high into the marbles and the dust and backed the thing in the wall and wrecked the front end. I think knocked the rear end out, and it was after halfway, so there's no work area time, and tore everything up. So that was a DNF. I think we finished like 19th or 20th that night. So that's the second night. Our next bad night was at Hobstadt. Hobstadt, we started around 10th or 12th in the feature. I believe we were up to about 6th or 7th. And under the caution, I heard some grinding. And then we had a mechanical issue that got us out of the race. And we DNF'd that night as well. And I believe that night we probably finished around 21st or 22nd. And that night, we were going to be in the top 5 as well. So you take 2 top 5s away from us. One my fault and one a part failure. And then Ogilvy was our next bad night. And that night we had a lap car spin in front of us. And me and Brad Sweet ran into the lap car that spun out. We were second to the work area. We're the first car there. We had the nose wing get knocked off. We tried to change a wing post, was not able to get that fixed. And went out, made laps, spun out because the car was handling really bad with the nose wing all screwed up, was able to go back to the work area. And luckily, Bill Rose stopped on the racetrack or we wouldn't have made it back out. And the guys got the car fixed, and we went back out and finished 11th. So that was another night battling for the lead, probably a podium that night, and we run 11th. Our next bad struggle night was the Ironman 55. We were running third, right behind Logan and Kyle Larson, which was probably the race of the year, and felt like we had an opportunity to run at a podium or for sure maybe a chance to win, and finished 9th that night. So pretty much the nose wing broke and fell down and had to limper home to a 9th instead of a podium that night. So that was a bummer. Knoxville Nationals, obviously the prelim night, going quick time. This is with a non-points night, so it did not affect our championship run. But got in dirty air, got all crossed up, pretty much spun out. Then a guy, in their blind side on the right side of the car, nailed me in the front end, went straight in the fence, wrecked the car, had to come from a C main, and you weren't going to transfer from there. But it made for an awesome story. Went through the hard knocks night and, went 22nd to second, really charging hard to Kyle Larson there. And, that was a good second, that's for sure. And then pretty much the nail in the coffin for us that made it too hard for us to overcome was Jackson Nationals. Going into it, I feel like we had a great opportunity to run good there. We did the year before, and it was just a nightmare of a weekend. The first night, we were just running okay, not great. I think we had an issue in the heat race and passed halfway, of course, very inopportune time. And we blew a tire. But not only did we blow a tire, it blew the right rear shock off the car. It blew the radius rod off the bird cage. Was not able to fix everything in the work area, and we finished dead last that night. So 24th place finish there really killed us. And then the next prelim night, I think we started mid pack in the feature again. We didn't put ourselves in position all weekend, and we paid the price. Got into a crash with Ian Madsen on the restart. I think we were like 3 or 4 wide, and was nearly flipped, but didn't. Luckily, we didn't, and got the front end changed, got the nose wing changed, I believe, and went back out and finished 11th. So we battled hard that night to come back to 11th and salvage something, but right there we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nights out of 72 that we had issues with, and definitely wavered our performance. But we're not making excuses. That's just what we had to battle this year, and it was just too much to overcome. Uh, with winning a championship, Brad Sweet had, I would say, far less things happen, and he was very consistent, led the series in top tens this year, and it was good enough for him to win a championship. So I see something I have to talk about as well. The billion diecast. So they were a pre-order. Obviously, I want to get these as soon as possible to people. And we were told last week that they shipped while we were at Charlotte, and they're going to Indiana. And we found out today that was not true. So they actually shipped yesterday, and it's a 4-day ship from Los Angeles to Indy. So we're expected to get our billion diecast on Tuesday. And Victoria, my sister, runs the online store currently in Indiana. She's going to ship those as fast as possible and get everybody their cars. I think there was probably about 200 118s and probably 150 to 200 150th or 164th, so whatever you want to call them, that are going to be shipped out. So I apologize. It always takes longer than they tell us. And then we just lost 7 days of them not shipping when they were supposed to. So I apologize to you guys. It's one of these things. A lot of people haven't been doing diecast because the problems getting them from China, shipping them by boat, and then shipping them to us, and then taking care of you guys. It is really, really hard. So stay tuned. I promise they will be shipped next week. And appreciate you guys for the patience. I've been getting a lot of emails, and I don't want to go out and say, hey, the diecasts are coming in at this time, because that always changes, and I don't want to get people's hopes up. So I've been leaving some people in the dark, but I apologize, guys. I looked in the comment section a little bit, and Tyler C says Johnny Gibson should come on. I don't think I had Johnny Gibson on before, but I would like to have Johnny Gibson to come on. He's obviously great at his job, makes the World of Outlaws what it is, and yeah, maybe we will. Chris Link became a bronze member to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. I believe the bronze. I think there's a bronze, silver, and gold. And I believe if you do a silver and a gold, you get a discount onto the online store on Shop DGR. So check out those 3 options, and we will hook you guys up and provide you with awesome merchandise. The trailer did make it back to Indiana. It is getting unloaded, and we are inventorying and adding new products and giving you realistic quantities on what's left on the online store in the near future. Probably about by Monday, that should be all updated. So we might do a sale for you guys and let you know when that is all updated at that time. So stay tuned. This is Bobby. Yes, do I plan on coming to Australia? 100%. With Levi being how young he is, we don't plan on coming this year, and probably not next year. But when he gets old enough that he knows what's going on, and we could go to Australia and like sightsee and enjoy the beautiful ocean and seafood and just see all the sights of Australia, that we definitely plan on coming back just when the time is right. Just got a lot going on, being new parents, racing 80 times this year. I'm going to be doing Chili Bowl this year. I did not race Chili Bowl last year, but I will be at Chili Bowl with RMS. So that is a little announcement and a perk of, being on this channel watching the show. So I did see some people say in the comments, are you going to be at Chili Bowl? Yes, I am. So I got that. And then the PRI show, they talked to me and approached me. So I'll be there supporting the PRI show, and really, really looking forward to that, to be kind of a spokesperson for them and do some social media work for them. So really excited. It really shows doing this social media stuff helps my brand, helps me get out there. We'll be doing collaborating posts with PRI show all week. So their brand's going to grow, my brand's going to grow, and it's pretty cool. They want to be involved with David Gravel, and appreciate them. So December 7th through the 9th, make sure you guys check out the PRI show. If you're a sprint car fan or if you're just on here and you love cars, it is literally the best show for racing people. It's way better than the SEMA show. It's more compact, and it's literally all motorsports. If you want to look at an exhaust for your pickup or your Mustang, your Camaro, or your Challenger, or your Charger, or if you want to go look at sprint car rear ends or cylinder heads, CNC machines. I don't care what it is, right? Anything in motorsports, it is there. So definitely something you guys got to check out, and really excited to support them. And I'll be at the Butler Built booth as well during the PRI show. So come see me. They got a new product with a new sprint car seat that I've been running here at the end of the season that we're going to debut at the PRI show. So really looking forward to showing you guys what Butler Built has to offer. What I've been in a sprint car since 2009, I believe, and in my opinion, the best sprint car seat out there. So come check out Butler Built and everybody else there. So we have another question from Anthony. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but you ever think about trying to do PA Speed Week? Anthony, that's impossible to do it when you're following a traveling series. The Outlaws, the All-Stars, the High Limit series, they're not going to be in that region when those races happen. And it's the summer months, and it's just impossible for you to do the whole week. Now, I believe like Justin Peck in the past has run some of the races or a majority of them, but it's usually like connected to the Ohio Speed Week. So then if you do both speed weeks, you're racing literally probably 14 or 12 times in like 16 days or something. So not a lot of people want to do that. That's pretty grueling. So obviously we talked about our season and the breakdown of what happened to us and kind of what wavered us from winning a World of Outlaw championship. But I'm going to bring up the points and we'll talk about each guy's season maybe a little bit and who did good, who underperformed. But what stands out to me is Gio Selzy, a rookie with the World of Outlaws, to finish fourth in the standings is a awesome feat, especially when you beat guys like Logan Schuchart, Donnie Schatz, and Sheldon Hanschild in the season. A team that's not really that proven, doesn't have a veteran crew chief. I feel Gio definitely deserves a lot of credit for the run he's had against the teams and the experience everybody has. I think that was a really, really good effort by those guys. Obviously, Brad Sweet winning the championship, leading top tens, consistent as heck, no DNFs, just steady Eddie, and that's what got him the win. So, yeah, it's tough to beat a guy that does that, but obviously he's moving on to other things, so it's part of it. Let's see. Just checking out the comment section, guys. But yeah, Brad Sweet, Gio Selzy, great seasons for both of them. Fifth championship in a row for Brad. Really awesome accomplishment. Something that's only been done by two other people. So those are my big shout outs. Obviously, Donnie Schatz was hot and cold. Logan Schuchart was hot and cold. I feel like obviously Macedo, us, and Brad kind of separated ourselves from the rest of the field. And I'll give a little credit to James McFadden. Obviously, he could easily rolled away and just gave up on the season or gave up on the World of Outlaws, and he kept at it. Won a career amount of races for him, and it would have been interesting to see where he would have finished in points. Looking by the stats, it looked like he probably would have finished maybe in between Sheldon and Donnie, so maybe sixth or seventh in points for him. So shout out to J Mac for winning races and winning for Toyota. I'm all for manufacturers getting involved in our sport, and I really hope that Ford steps it up. I really hope Chevy steps it up, but it's cool to see Toyota put money back into the sport, have an engine, have a winning engine, and just like Ford. So I believe Zeb Wise is going to be full-time at Ford's next year. So I think it's going to be good. All right, so obviously the title, we've been in here for 20 minutes, so I will not let, I don't want to have super clickbait and people, wait to the end. what series will I be racing for next year? Will it be the high limit sprint car series, or will it be the World of Outlaws? And I felt like there's a lot of good options, obviously, next year, unprecedented options. And um, it's a tough decision, but I feel like you got to do what's best for you and, run the series that you think gives you the best opportunity, obviously, to make a living. And that fits kind of your mold on travel and, how many times you go to the West Coast, or breaks. Do you have time off? And, you know, the Outlaws have changed their schedule a little bit this year. And then being no more All Stars, the high limit schedule is going to be something super unorthodox and nothing that we've seen yet. So, um, we're going to be back on the World of Outlaw tour next year. And what's really important to me and Todd Queering and all of Big Game Motorsports is winning that World of Outlaw championship. Um, it's really important, and it's a very prestigious thing. And I think right now, um, it's where we want to be right now. Obviously, Brad and Kyle are building something uh, really big, and I think it is going to be a competitor to the Outlaws, but they still have a lot to prove. And I think they will prove it probably, but the world we live in right now, right? I've dedicated 10 years to the World of Outlaw Tour. Uh, for me, I really want to get to 100 wins. Um, that's important to me, and be a World of Outlaw champion. So I feel like we're more than capable of doing that. Um, Obviously, Brad Sweet, the defending champion, will not be there. But I mean, that's not my problem. He's doing something that is going to be bettering him for his life and hopefully for sprint car racing in the future. But we're committed to the World of Outlaws right now. I feel like we have a great nucleus of drivers. No matter if Brad's there or not, I feel like we're going to have a lot of the best teams with us. And, the point fund's really strong. And, Brad's won the championship 5 times. So for him, he has nothing really left to prove on the World of Outlaw tour. So, um, you know, I still have stuff to prove, and definitely want to check that off the list for achievements. And I'm going to be racing for a lot longer, so I'll have definitely opportunities to win World of Outlaw championships, and who knows what in the future. But that's what we're doing, guys. We're going to be on the World of Outlaw tour next year. Very excited about it, and to roll into the next thing. You guys seen the press release from today and yesterday. Husitz is stepping up in a huge way with the World of Outlaws. They're going to have more money on top of their high bank nationals. So not only is it going to be 250 to win on Saturday, the event starts Wednesday, 20,000 to win, 1,500 to start. Thursday, 100,000 to win, 2,000 to start. Friday, 20,000 to win, 1,500 to start, and Saturday to wrap it all up, 250,000 to win and 5K to start. And not only on top of that, Husitz is going to be racing Labor Day, and that will be 15,000 to win on Saturday and 1,200 to win or 1,200 to start. And then Sunday, we're going to be getting 40,000 to win and 2,000 to start. So Husitz Speedway alone is paying over $1 million in World of Outlaw races in 6 days, which is pretty amazing. And really looking forward to that. Obviously, we won the 250 at the Husitz High Bank Nationals, and a track that I've kind of been good at my whole career, but lately we've been really, really strong at. So, an extra 300,000 to 400,000 Todd has put in this year for next year than compared to last year. So, pretty awesome stuff. And I know there's going to be more stuff on the horizon. So since we're talking about money and giving a plug to Husitz for this fresh news is pretty amazing. 2023 earnings. So obviously there was the $1 million race at Eldora, the 250 added at Husitz. I feel like a lot of extra money up, but did it get spread out between the teams? I feel like um, you know, would it would it be just Logan Schuchart get the $1 million, and that's the only guy that got the extra money? But have a little bit of facts here. So earnings in 2023, the top three guys, Logan Schuchart was the top earner at 1,389,698. We were second in earnings with $1,003,423, and Brad Sweet third in earnings, 813,465. So the top earner in 2022 was 642,000, which was Brent Marks. So if you take Logan's million out, still two guys well over the $600,000 mark at 1,800,000. So it shows that there was more money on the table and more to get. But I looked at the other stat was how many teams and drivers brought in over 400,000. And this year there was 8 people with 400,000 or more. And then in 2022, there was actually 9 people that had 400,000 or more. So that number hasn't really changed. That's stayed the same. But I feel like when you have these big events that are extremely top heavy, like the King's Royal and the Million, um, and other big events as well, but that's just the way it is. Um, the winners are getting a lot of the money, and then it's not getting spread out as much as well. So that's just the risk versus reward. And it was $1 million to win, 100,000 for second. I believe Kings Royal is 175 to win, and 20 or 25 for second. So big drop offs there. So I think that's why the 8 to 9 people over 400,000 haven't changed. But I think that number is going to go to 10, 12 guys next year, because with these purse increases that the World of Outlaws have talked about, they're adding, I believe, 11 or 12 grand per race. And the high limit, is rumored to do the same at, probably the same pay structure, probably 12,000 to win, 1,200 to start, something like that. So just the average, if you have 20% to everybody's earnings from this year, you're going to have more people over 400,000. If you guys have questions, you guys could put them in the chat. Obviously, a paid question pops up, and it's hard to see. But there's a lot of animosity in the sprint car world, and a lot of things that maybe people don't know or are aware of. But you know, Brad Sweet is doing a pretty interesting thing in the sport, and I don't blame him one bit. When you have Kyle Larson as your brother-in-law in Flow Racing, wanting to start a sprint car series, it's something that you can't pass up, especially when you're involved in the sport like he is. He's promoted events, has his own racetrack. It's a very unique opportunity, and for him, a no-brainer in the business department. So you can't, blame Brad for doing what he's doing. But it's going to be a weird year. Obviously, drivers and teams will be split up, and the high limit series will be in places that the Outlaws used to be. Schedules are going to be funky, but I'm really interested to see the high limit schedule, because we obviously have our 4 freebies. So we're going to see where those land for us. Obviously, we want to chase the most money possible. And obviously, they announced like the 100,000 to win, the 100,000 to win historical big one is still going to happen. So you'll probably see us there. But those other races, when will these midweek races happen? Will it be close to the World of Outlaws? Will it be only around the high limit guys? And what will they pay? So very interested to see that, and see from there. Rusty Pine, glad to see how far you come in. Grew up racing in quarter midgets. Rusty, thank you, man. Quarter midget racing, I feel like, has made me the driver I am today. I feel like quarter midget racers are typically smooth. They arc their corners and don't throw slide jobs 90% of the time. And it's definitely a different driving style. And sometimes hurts you, and sometimes it doesn't. But we'll see. People are talking about the dash draw. Looks like my wife's here talking about the dash draw. But I believe Cody told me the stat today. I think we're about 5.5 was our average dash draw. So if you accompany, there's a decent amount of races that were only 6 people in the dash, and then you throw in when there was 8. That's pretty bad. So usually on average people get around 4.5. So we're about a whole position back from from I guess the average, which does not help. Let's see. Being a scheduled regular, I'm going to miss not seeing the 2 car tearing up the track. Hopefully, in the future, you can make it out. Yeah, obviously. Let's see. We got the Chaz spouting off. High limits mean nothing. Kyle Larson is going to be less outlaw drivers this year. Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna find out, guys. I bet you by PRI show we're gonna understand who's a World of Outlaw and who's a high limit guy. But I think that the World of Outlaws will have quite a bit of team still. I mean, they doubled the tow money, which is gonna help teams stay. And then the high limit thing, I'm very interested. Where does the 7BC go? Zeb Wise is gonna be high limit. Brad Sweet's gonna be high limit. It's going to be interesting to see what does people like Anthony Macri do, what do Brent Marks do, somebody like Austin McCarl, what does Brock Zierfoss do, the Shark Racing cars who both do it. There's a lot of question marks. You just don't know what's going to happen here. So very interested to see. Just really exciting time in sprint car racing. I feel like, I just feel like everybody is like there's so much animosity, right? There's bad feelings between World of Outlaws and High Limit, but I just think it's amazing and it's just an exciting time to be a sprint car fan, exciting time to be a sprint car driver. If you look back 5 years ago to today, you look back at the stats and Donnie Schatz won 30 races in a year and he only brought in like 600,000, right? And Logan Schuchart won under 10 races. Won 13 races and brought over $1 million. So that shows you that the sport is growing, but sadly, the cost has gone so high through the roof that this is needed. This extra money, yes, the drivers are making more, but the teams truly, truly need it. The teams that hire guys to drive the race cars and are losing lots and lots of money. It is needed to help keep these teams going. So it has been much needed. The standard purse increase is probably 5 to 8 years too late. It's been 10,000 a win forever, and it's really good to see that finally we've gotten an increase. Ascent Media says, when are these carbon fiber GoPro cases coming? All right, so I didn't really release the news or anything, but with doing social media stuff and doing GoPro clips a lot, I never bought those billet aluminum cases because I know the GoPros overheated in them and always use the plastic ones from Amazon because the GoPro cases that GoPro sells, the plastic ones, you can't buy replacement lenses and you bust these things up all the time and you have to buy a new case. So I go on Amazon, buy my cases for like $18 a piece instead of, $50 that GoPro charges. And, they're throwaways. You crack them, you run them a little while, they get sandblasted. You can't really see through the lens anymore. So I decided that I'm going to be making my own GoPro case out of carbon fiber. I think carbon fiber will breathe better than billet aluminum, so we shouldn't have the heat problems. And then the durability should be really, really stout with them and should be really strong and as light as plastic and lighter than aluminum. So really excited for that. And stay tuned, guys, the next couple weeks. Hopefully we have them ready to go. And excited to start making them. And I think they're really needed in the whole motorsports world or the whole extreme sports world. I think these could work perfect for people like bicyclists, mountain bike guys, whatever it is. I really think that it's something that people are really asking for. I only think Justin Peck had a worse draw average, but he didn't run full time. So let's see. Look forward to seeing you at Houston. Same here. Levi will be old enough to do dash draws next year. Maybe he'll be able to get me some good draws. $1 million sport and your night comes down to a lucky draw. The dash draw is stupid. I mean, I agree in some sense for sure. I do not like the dash draw. To me, it's a broken system. If it's a 4-car or 4 heat race program, and say you go quick time out of 37 cars, start in the pole, and win your heat race, and then you're the first guy to draw, and you draw an 8. To me, it is not fair, in my opinion, that you earned everything to get there, and you draw an 8. I don't think that should be possible, in my opinion, when it's a 3 heat race format and only 6 car dash. It's not as big of a deal. But in today's racing world, if you start 7th or 8th in a feature, it is really, really hard to win a race from 7th or 8th. It only happens maybe 1 or 2 times a year, which is insane, but that's just how competitive our sport is today. So I know they're not going to change it. Nobody really wants to change it because it helps keep it random and fresh. And maybe if you did that, somebody would win a lot more races, but you just never know. But I hate drawing an 8 in a dash when you're quick time, win your heat race, draw an 8. I just think that's silly. I heard Jackson is getting a pay increase back to 50,000. I do not know about that. It could be true or not, but I know nothing about that. Todd hasn't said anything to me, so I can't speak on it. So I hope so. I mean, that would be great. But I know that there's a lot of logistical issues with Jackson getting people there for 3 days. The market in Sioux Falls is such a happening market, such a building economy there that we went from 100,000 to 250, and it was packed most of the days there, and I think it might be sold out every day next year with paying that 100,000 on a Thursday. You're going to want to be there for that race. So I don't know, I hope so. We'll see what happens. I hope you get to come to Lernerville next year. If Lernerville is paying 50,000 to win, and logistically it makes sense for us, hopefully we'll be there. But again, we don't know how these schedules are going to line up, and we'll just have to wait and see. Raz, how's the Fox coming? The Fox body is not done yet. It's been like a 5-year project. I've lost all motivation on this thing. It's going to be an awesome car when it's done, but I'm just not excited about it anymore. But it will be done hopefully this month. It is very close. I've never heard it fire up yet, but once it's running, it's going to be on the YouTube channel. We're going to make videos about it, content, and we're going to go to the drag strip this off season before the season starts. So bet on that. And I got another car in the fleet too. When that shows up in Florida, really excited to show you guys that. We're gonna have a fleet of cars. Never enough time to drive them all, but yeah, we'll see if we can drive them maybe one day in the off season. That's for sure. Anthony says, another paid question. Thank you, Anthony. Out of all tracks you've raced at this year, which one do you think was smoothest you raced on, and which one was the roughest? I think the roughest we had this year, we had 2 that were rough. We had Peevely one night. Usually beginning of the year, it's rough and rainy and cold. And I believe we had a really, really rough night at Peevely. And then I believe we had a rainy night at Grand Forks one night, and that was really rough and a crappy night. So I think those 2 would be the roughest and the smoothest. That's tough to say. I mean, Charlotte was very smooth. I was very impressed with Charlotte. Knoxville was a little bit like rougher. The cushion was really, really tricky this year, and the cushion was um, just tough to run. It seemed like, and we definitely ran the bottom a lot less. So I wouldn't say Knoxville. And Eldora had some rough nights as well. The Kings Royal was really rough, and yeah. So I'll go Charlotte, smoothest track that I could remember. So there's probably other smooth ones, but we just were there. Butch says, David, you coming out to our fish fry at Atomic in May? Look for the gravel time banner. Yeah, I think you guys had a bunch of crappie there. It was very good. So if you're making more, guys, I will come by and have some more crappie. Draw idea 1 to 4 and 5 through 8. You can only go back or forward 1 row. My idea was heat race winners draw 1 through 4, and 5 through 8 is going to be for the people that finished second. Do I like to hunt? I've never hunted, and I've rarely shot a gun. So, yeah, I would say I probably won't be hunting. Obviously, I could go hunting at with Todd Quiring because he's a very avid hunter, but not in my future. I have a lot of other things I want to do in the off season. I love to go to the beach. I would love to go fishing. I'm definitely like to fish in the ocean. I have a pool, so I like to be in the pool at Levi and cook good food, eat good food, beach race cars, drag race cars. That's kind of on my um, that's on my radar. So let's see, guys. I made a little bit of list here. All right, here's another topic. If Let me know if you guys watch the Outlaw Banquet live on Dirt Vision or not. And they gave out a couple other awards there, and one I was pretty pissed off that I didn't win. So the ambassador to sprint car racing um, was given to Donnie Schatz. Now, obviously, Donnie Schatz is the GOAT of our generation. The best since Steve Kinzer, won the most races, and that was for the guy that supposedly had the best social media presence. And I feel like hands down for a World of Outlaw guy, I should have been the ambassador of the year. I feel like we do a really good job on all the platforms, and Donnie and Misha and their team, they do a good job on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, but I feel like we go that next level to TikTok and YouTube and provide a lot more content than other people. So I really want the World of Outlaws to give me little details on what happened there and how he got that award and not me, and maybe he truly did beat me, but maybe I got to step up my game. So let me know what I need to step up on, and hopefully we could get that award next year. But award that I was proud. I didn't win, but I was proud for all you fans and all the support I've gotten from you guys was the Fan Poll Award. Obviously, the most popular driver was Sheldon Hodenshield, which he was at like 32%. But we were second. Second in the votes. I think we were at like 22%. And then below that, the next guy was like 11 or 10. So I'm really proud of that. Like I built my brand up from nothing, right? A guy from Connecticut has no history in dirt racing and just a kid came out of nowhere. Luckily got some cool opportunities and was really proud that we were second in the standings in the fan vote because we've worked hard on social media. Winning races makes you popular, but just interacting with people at Knoxville Nationals, at any event, but doing these YouTube videos and showing you the behind the scenes stuff and being personable with people and show you the cooking and showing the Mustang stuff and the Viper stuff. I feel like really, really proud of what we're building, and we're going to continue to build. Sheldon's driving style is so exciting, and he's a Honshield. Jack Honshield was arguably the most popular sprint car driver ever. So his son is going to be popular as it is, but when you win races and drive the way he does, and his car looks great and a great sponsor, so it's easy, to like Sheldon as well. But I'm real proud of that. So thank you guys for the support and that vote. And we're going to keep building this thing, guys. Keep trying to grow the platform, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see. Dutch. Do we do Dutches already? Dutch just sent 4.99. I appreciate it, Dutch. If you meant to send in a question, send in another one, and we will answer it for you. But thank you. Spike Fast says, Sir David Gravel, please share us your fondest memories of the future Hall of Famer Tyler Walker. So Tyler Walker, I actually got to race with him quite a bit when he drove for the Keen car. He ran a lot of all-star races when I did. And we got to drink some mixed drinks, party with him. He had his pit bull and his girlfriend. And we definitely had some fun nights, that's for sure. And then we had some not so fun nights, a couple blowups at Chico. I tried to break up the fight and he didn't like that. But obviously, a guy that extremely talented. Sad he had to battle the demons he did, but an exciting sprint car driver. I didn't see him in his heyday in the mid early 2000s, but definitely a guy that's pretty much done it all. And yeah, definitely one of a kind, that's for sure. Cassie asks, any updates on the billion diecast? So I did talk about that earlier. Obviously, you probably weren't here, but they were supposed to be here this week. They told me they shipped last week. That was a lie, and they actually shipped yesterday. We'll be getting them Tuesday in Indiana from Los Angeles, and we'll be shipping them next week. There's probably 250 orders that need to be fulfilled, so please be patient. I'm sorry everything is delayed, but you guys will have tracking numbers, probably all of you, by the end of next week. Thank you, Mary, for voting for me. Dirt Court says, always love your content. I appreciate it. Your live streams with other drivers are great. I was shocked that you didn't get that award. I haven't seen any of Donnie's stuff, only Tony's advertising. I agree. Um, the Chaz, ever thought of jumping in a big block modified? A little bit, but I just don't have a lot of time. Maybe like World Finals would be my only, um, only issue, but or time I should be able to run it, but man, it's just tough. Is Brad Sweet not racing the World of Outlaws next year? No, he is not racing the World of Outlaws. Um, Obviously, that's not my news to break, but it's already out. If you watch the press release at Flow Racing or his interview on Wing Nation, he said that he's going to be running full time with the High Limit Series, which makes sense. It's his series and Kyle's series, so he's going to support it. So, very obvious stuff there. Don't blame him, and that's the way he's going. Let's see. Sweet is running the High Limit Series. Yep, people said that. Who is your favorite driver to race against? Dale Blaney used to be. I really respect the way Lance DeWeese races. Probably Donnie Schatz. Always. You're never gonna bang wheels at him, and he runs it hard, but runs it clean. Choose cone, yes or no? Yeah. I don't mind the choose cone. It gets confusing, but the more you do it, the less confusing it is. But I think it adds another layer of excitement to with the fans, and the drivers could take a chance and try a different lane or maybe gain a row or two. So I'm not against it. Let's see. Kaylin Bear. Will the Outlaws be coming to the Gold Cup since it is now a high limit race? So I don't believe so. Obviously, the schedules aren't out and aren't official, so I can't speak on that for sure. That's not my place. But if I had to guess, I would say no. But who knows? Maybe everybody will kiss and make up and it'll happen. But um, I don't think so. But we'll have to wait and see. Did he say if he was running Outlaws or High Limit yet? Yes, he did. Check out those interviews that I just talked about. Cameron, sorry I missed your question. Are you back in West Palm? Will Tanner Holmes get a full-time ride? He did good for Shark. Yes, I'm back home in West Palm Beach. Jill is trying to start her career as a nurse practitioner, aesthetic injector. So I'm back here trying to be a dad and be a babysitter. And we're still unpacking and got so much clothes from the race season, doing tons of laundry and trying to get our lives together here. And will Tanner Holmes get a full time ride? I truly don't know. I haven't watched any of his stuff, but I think it'll be hard for him to land a full time ride. I know there was a chance with Shark Racing, but I think Jacob is coming back, and it's all in funding. If they could bring sponsorship, maybe that will happen. But um, I see Tanner with his platform. If he could build that thing up, why not build your own team and continue to build his own team like he is and be the next Brian Brown? I feel like Brian Brown will probably be more successful than 90% of the sprint car drivers out there in life because he built up his own race team and has done a good job doing it. So I feel like Tanner Holmes has a unique opportunity with his social media following, and he's young. And he could do whatever he want, but that's what I think he should do. Okay, Kaylin, I hopefully I pronounced that right. And then Dutch 4625. Glad my daughter's first race was at Baps and she got to see you win. I knew unfamiliarity would give drivers issues, but I saw you studying your craft on the brakes. Thought on the track, thoughts on the track and coming back. I think I don't see why not. The World of Outlaws wouldn't be back at BAPS, but yeah, first time there in a sprint car, and the track was in good condition. They gave us two grooves in the feature, such a unique shape, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, every race night, I'm always there studying the track. If it's hot laps, qualifying, heat races, B main dash, I'm watching as many laps as I can. And if I'm not, I have my phone out watching Dirt Vision while I'm sitting in the car before I get out. That's something that's very, very important as a sprint car driver. You can't miss anything, and we try to do the best job doing that. So, yeah, we love the track. Hopefully, we're coming back, and we'll find out probably in a couple weeks when the schedule comes out. The Chaz says, "Would you like to see the Outlaws do more of a freedom factor schedule, number of races, and running other events like High Limit is doing next year?" Of course, I would love that as a driver to be selfish and be able to race where you want. If there's a big High Limit race, or who knows what's going to be popping up with these regional series and these midweek races, I would love to see that. But I know on the flip side of that, the World of Outlaws are trying to protect their brand. But let's see what the next 5 years brings. If the High Limit series could build a great brand and have a lot of people support it, it's ultra successful with no restrictions, then that's going to put a lot of heat on the World of Outlaws to do the same. So we're going to have to wait and see what all happens and transpires there. So I get what the World of Outlaws is doing and trying to protect themselves, but I don't know. I think look at this year. Gio Scelzi goes to Lakeside, high limit race, 50,000 to win, and wins, steals the 50,000. We go to Lernerville, their next biggest race, or equally as biggest race, and we win the high limit, 50,000 to win. So World of Outlaw drivers swept their big events, their 50,000 to win races. Look at Eldora, the Eldora $1 million to win. Who won that? Logan Schuchart, World of Outlaw guy. In my opinion, it is better for the World of Outlaws for their drivers to go to other events and kick their butt and win. So, in my opinion, it's a good thing if your guys go out and it shouldn't be 20 times a year, but if they go out 5, 10 times a year and go out and take the other series money or whoever is promoting the event and shows, hey, the World of Outlaw drivers, number one guys, I think that helps promote the World of Outlaw brand, in my opinion, because everybody knows, oh, these guys are outside outlaw guys. These guys aren't messing around. These are the best of the best. So that is my outlook on it. And again, I don't know what is the truth or not, in the sense of, does it hurt or does it not? It's just like streaming. Does streaming hurt fans in the stands? Some people say streaming hurts fans in the stands, and other people says it helps because now we have more eyes on racing, and people don't just want to watch on TV every night. At some point, they're going to want to go to a race. So I think streaming helps grow the sport, and in return is going to bring more people to the stands and to the races overall. But does anybody have 100% proof of that? Maybe attendance is up this year everywhere, and maybe that is the truth. So those are just things that some are opinionated and some don't know, but we are going to find out here in the next 5 years if exclusivity works or doesn't, because now we have a competing series paying similar money that's going to have no restrictions. So I feel like I'm very in the middle on this because as a driver, it really sucked this year when we couldn't go to Port Royal for 58,000 to win or 60,000 to win because we were out of our 4 races, and we were literally racing at Port Royal the next 2 days there. So I felt like that's when it was very frustrating. And in my opinion, we should have been allowed to race that. But again, I get both sides. So I'm going to stay in the middle on all this, but I'm open-minded, and I don't own a series and I don't own a track. So I can't speak on that way, but that's my opinion as a driver, my outlook as a driver, and trying to be as unbiased as possible. Like I said, I don't think you should be a World of Outlaw driver and go race 20 times. I think that is not right. But as me as a driver, I'm not going to go out and race 20 other races. I would like to go to the other races that pay 50,000 plus. And then if not, I'm going to stay home, spend time with my family, take a couple days off because I want time off as well. Let's see. We had another question. I think I passed by. Tyler C's funniest thing slash story that happened this year. Funniest. Well, there's a lot of things that happen when you party with sprint car guys, but nothing really sticks out in that sense. Went to the casino out in Washington and had a blast there. I was up $800, and I was gonna leave that day to go to Skagit. We were like in Spokane, Washington, and my guys talked me into staying another day. Well, I lost my $800 profit and left broke even. So that it was a good time. We had a good couple days at that casino, but I definitely should have left that day earlier, and I would have left $800 up. But hey, that's the way it goes. We have several paid questions on here, so I'm going to run to them right now. Canadian Sprint Car Guide, our Sprint Racing Tour Guide. Do you expect new drivers to join the World of Outlaws next year? What's the deadline and process for a team to commit to a certain series? P.S. I'll bring you more Canadian beer to Weed Sport next year. I remember you now. Thank you for the beer. I do not drink beer personally, but my crew guys drink beer and they enjoy it. So thank you for that. Um, I really don't know on who to expect for next year. Like the big teams that I'm thinking of is like, what does Brett Marks or Anthony Macri do? Um, but I don't know if there's any other teams that are built for the World of Outlaws. You always have these young drivers that have never done it before and are starting out, and they try them out and they kind of come and go. But as far as big teams, I don't know. Roth Motorsports is a big question. Does Buddy Kofoid come on the World of Outlaw Tour? Does James McFadden come on the World of Outlaw Tour? Is there two teams? Is there one team? That's up in the air, I feel like. So what's going to happen there? Maybe we have two Roth cars next year. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. As far as a deadline, I believe the deadline was just typically before the season started was the deadline. But I know with everything that's happening, they want to know sooner than later. And I believe they're putting a way earlier deadline on signing up this year. I think if you sign up early, you get that guaranteed double tow money. But if you don't, I don't think you get that tow money or something like that. So we're going to see. Well, I don't know what the deadline is. Luckily, I don't have to worry about it. Any new teams that want to, they're going to have to reach out to the Outlaws and they could find out all that information. What are your thoughts on Brad Sweet's comments about working together with Lucas Oil to do some double headers? I remember the World of Outlaws did that at Cedar Lake during COVID. We did the sprint cars and late models. I think it's a good idea. It's got to be a track that can handle it because you're going to have a lot of race cars and a lot of track wear. So you're going to have a track that could keep up with all those laps. But for the fans, how could you ask for any more? One of the top World of Outlaw or late model teams and one of the top sprint car teams or series, I'm sorry, in one night. So I think really unique opportunity for people to see, you know, an awesome night of racing. More paid questions here. World of Outlaws is amazing, yes, but paying $40 a month to watch it is not worth it. Whereas Flow, I can watch High Limit and still watch my wheel and modifieds and cars tours. David, so I have YouTube TV here at home and I pay, I think it's like $60 or $80 a month. How much do I use it? Not that often. But I still use it for Jill, for me. They have, unlimited DVR. So I'm still paying $80 to have regular TV. $40 a month, yes, it's more than Flow Racing. But you just got to ask yourself, is $40 a month worth it? Do you use it enough? What do you do on Friday and Saturday nights and Sunday nights? Do you watch World of Outlaw races? Do you watch Huset's? Do you watch Williams Grove? Do you watch Knoxville, Attica? If you don't and you watch what you want on Flow, then hey, if you truly can't afford it, that's what you could afford as well. So everybody lives in a different world and everybody's financial situations are different and everybody likes different types of racing. So everybody's has their opinion and David, you have that opinion. So I feel like the World of Outlaws Sprint Car series does a great job on their broadcast. I think they are the number one in dirt racing. I watch all of the streaming services and their nights, and I feel like right now we have the best product from start to finish on Dirt Vision with the World of Outlaw Tour. Now, if you go to the weekly races, they're not as good, and same thing with Flow. It seems like the Lucas Oil late model series gets the best of the best for Flow racing, and then everybody else is kind of second tier. So we'll see if that gets stepped up this year in the high limit series. All right, Spike Fast Racing asks. This is a great question, and this is something that's been talked about. Sir David Gravel, please ask Mrs. Gravel if she'll be offering Botox injections and lip filler at the track for myself and the Chaz. We need to maintain our attractive appeal at the dirt tracks. The Chaz, he needs to be filled up top to bottom with Botox and lip fillers for sure. So, yeah, we can hook you guys up. But this is something, hopefully, as Jill gets more proven, maybe we'll be doing this stuff at Knoxville Nationals, maybe Kings Royal. We'll do some big like Botox or lip filler parties. But hopefully Jill's going to be hooking up all the drivers' wives here in the future as she, learns more about everything. So, yeah, you got to be looking right, man. Always got to be looking good. A lot of anti-aging stuff she has to offer. So check out, I think her Instagram name is Palm Beach Injector. So check her out on Instagram. Mitch asked, "Are we seeing a new Houston scheme for 2024?" Um, if you're asking about the Houston's High Bank Nationals, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Billion Automotive loves the special car at Houston's, and I believe everybody loved the car at Knoxville Nationals. So our goal, I believe, is to have two schemes, one for the Houston's race and Knoxville Nationals. So really looking forward to that. All right, we had another paid question here. Oh no, we had multiple. Okay. Yep. So Keith here. What if the championship only counted your 10 best finishes and maybe double, triple, or quadruple points at World Finals? One World of Outlaw win trumps 75 last place finishes. That's a little crazy. That's pretty aggressive because I mean 10 finishes out of 70 something races. Um, you know, I won 12 races, so my 10 best finishes would be first places. So I don't know how that would work. And then double, triple, or quadruple at World Finals, that pretty much says that everybody is going to go into World Finals like close to tied. And then if you do good or bad there, you win or lose. And I don't know if I'm all for this NASCAR format. I don't agree with winning one race. You could literally be injured or miss half the season. But if you win a race, and get into the chase, you still have a chance to win. So I'm definitely not sold on that. I know it's to get people excited and watch the last event and have four guys going into a race to have a chance at the championship. But um, I'm not a fan. I don't know if the Lucas Oil guys were a fan this year with the late model thing they did, but um, yeah, I don't want that. I think man, if you could throw away your worst one night or two nights, that would be nice, but um yeah, that didn't happen. Let's see here. Oh, my phone was hitting my brightness deal. Sorry about that, guys. We got Corey here. What are your thoughts on how the cars handle in traffic? I feel like we hear more drivers talking about dirty air now more than ever. So the first night at Charlotte there in the heat race, got a bad start. Rico got underneath me. He protected down the backstretch, and I went from the bottom to the top, and he went down low. And when I crossed paths with him, the air really upsetted the car and made my car go towards the outside wall and actually clipped the outside wall going into turn 3, and Chase Randall passed me. That kind of threw me for a loop. I did not expect to feel that when we cross paths like that, but dirty air is extremely important. When we run 2-inch wicker bills, it cuts a bigger hole through the air and makes dirty air even worse. So it's definitely a prominent thing, and definitely huge. And being out front, man, that is way better than being behind, guys. That's for sure. Okay, Corey, and now we have Jim. Like to see Outlaws run Sealands Grove and Grandview. I agree. Sealands Grove seems like a nice track. Grandview, a decent facility, but a good racetrack. Yeah, I feel like I would like to run more Pennsylvania tracks. There's a lot of tracks there, and yeah, going to Baps this year was refreshing to go to somewhere different and not go to Williams Grove so many times. But yeah, it was good. It was good to go to Baps, and maybe one day we will go to Sealands Grove or Grandview. I really don't know. We'll just have to we'll have to wait and see. Hey David, what do you think of World of Outlaws running the same weekend as NASCAR in Iowa? Man, definitely exciting. Iowa is such a cool track. I actually went to like the Richard Petty driving experience one time and made laps around Iowa Speedway, and really excited to see a NASCAR race there. And then us obviously hosting the World of Outlaw events going up to that. I think we'll have great crowds. Probably Kyle Larson might be racing there since he'll already be there. Should be really really exciting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it was a good move on Knoxville's part and the World of Outlaws part. So really really cool. Is it is it true or not? But I heard a rumor you won't be running World of Outlaws full time. Is that true or false, Jeremy? Obviously, you weren't here earlier, but we will be running the World of Outlaw tour full time. Really excited about that. They have a lot to offer, and we're going to try to hunt for our first World of Outlaw championship. World of Outlaws made a big mistake with the 4 race deal. You can make more money going to high limit than cherry picking the World of Outlaws anytime you like. I get year end money is good, but how many down the line? Russ, that is true and untrue. The World of Outlaws has a really good solid purse, and the high limit deal had high money to win, and the start money was pretty equal to a regular World of Outlaw night. But if you weren't winning at the high limit, you weren't making a lot more money. Now on a Tuesday, that's a great event to pay that extra money for sure. But I'd have to disagree that yeah, I would have to disagree that you're gonna guaranteed to make more money anywhere else. Like, you could run the World of Outlaws, run like crap, and make not good money. You could run the high limit series and win every race and make more money. But at the end of the day, you have to perform, and these purse structures are more top heavy, and you got to run first or second to really make a lot of money. Spike fast. All right. Obviously, this is a little bit of a joke, but Sir David Gravel, is it true when McKenna Hassey wrecked you at Knoxville Nationals, you refused to shop at Hy-Vee grocery store and lost out on everyday low prices, employee-owned savings? Obviously, that's a joke, funny, but I would say McKenna Hassey did not crash me. I never made contact with her, but she, went high, low, got me in her dirty air. Remember the dirty air thing we just talked about? Got me all crossed up, and got clipped from there. So I would say it was just a racing deal. Some my fault, but no, I did still go to Hy-Vee, but I do go to Fairway to get my meat. I think the meat is a little bit better at Fairway, in my opinion. But we go to Hy-Vee to get like literally everything else. So I still went there. Liam is booing me, not sure why. Michael Kutsky, Cedar Lake or Beaver Dam Raceway? That is tough, tough answer. Both tracks are awesome. I love Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin is probably number 2 in the country as far as racetracks, fans, and just an awesome place to be. But it's hard to pick. I would say on a consistent basis, Cedar Lake, but when Beaver Dam is right, I like Beaver Dam better when it's right. Scott Boyd does a great job at that place. They pack the house. T-shirt sales are crazy there. Great facility. So it's hard to pick, but in a perfect night, Beaver Dam, 9 times out of 10. Cedar Lake is pretty close to the same. So it's hard to pick. I really like both. Tough decision. I knew you would win Lernerville, Mary said. I mean, I love Lernerville, miss that place. to really really a bummer that the World of Outlaws don't go there. That's for sure. Happy to hear you. Hopefully, we'll see you at Houston's again. Oh yeah, we'll see you at Houston's again. Yep, champ. $1,000 tow money, 20% increase in pay. That's going to help these guys. Yeah, for sure. No doubt. All right, that is the end of the paid questions. Let me just double check here. Um, Yeah, when we talk about social media ambassador stuff, I feel like the leading guys in our sport, Tanner Holmes, Rico, and me, I feel like are the big three that put a lot of money and effort into social media. So shout out to Rico and Tanner doing what they do. Um, Sad to see Brad Sweet go to the High Limit Series, but he owns it, and I do not blame him at all. So he's going to do what he wants. He's a 5-time champion. He's accomplished what he's wanted to accomplish, and he's moving on in life. So I totally get it, but I'm excited to be a World Outlaw next year and challenge for a championship. And then a question for you guys. Please tell me in the comment section, who do you want to see on the show next? This is going to be our only stream that is going to be just me. All the podcasts and shows from here on out will have guests, but I felt like I had a lot to talk about with our season review, the stuff Houston's is doing, earnings in 2023, the high limit World of Outlaw stuff. So I just wanted to do a session with just me and just kind of talk about those things. So let me know who you want to see next. I would love to have Johnny Gibson. Brian Carter would be good. Hopefully we could have Rico on again, like I said. Definitely like to do some crew chiefs. I feel like we haven't had a lot of crew chiefs. So I would like to have Kyle or Brad on and talk about some of these things, right? Like talk about my perspective with their perspective and stuff like that. So it'll be very interesting to see. They kind of have their own podcast on Flow. So I feel like they probably don't want to be in front of a camera any more than I do. So maybe they'll come on, maybe not. But maybe having them come on at the same time would be good. But yeah, a lot of guys fill up the list. If you guys want to see all dirt guys, I feel like we had some NASCAR guys on last year and the viewership was way down. So that just shows me that my fans are loyal and dedicated to dirt racing. And that's what you guys want to see. But I'd like to have Kyle Ripper, Ricky Warner, Cody Jacobs, maybe do a show of just crew chiefs, or I'd love to have maybe Ricky and maybe Ricky Stenhouse and Sheldon, or Rico and Ricky Warner at the same time. That would be really, really cool. All right, guys. ShopDGR.com. Stay tuned. We're going to be updating all of the merchandise stuff here very shortly. Billion diecast shipping next week. I apologize. Houston's $1 million up for grabs next year between the 6 days. Really excited about that. If you guys are just checking in, I will be a World of Outlaw driver next year, chasing the championship in 2024. Doug Wolfgang would be a good guy. I don't know if he'll come on, but maybe I could get Doug Wolfgang on. I know he gets along with me well, and maybe we could have Doug Wolfgang. That would be really, really cool. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for the love. Stay tuned. Got really cool stuff. The GoPro case coming out, the PRI show coming out in December. I will be there. Make sure you guys come visit me. I'll be at the Butler Built booth. Really excited to be with Big Game Motorsports for 2024, chasing a World of Outlaw championship with Cody Jacobs. Got to thank Cody, Scott, and Zach for everything they do. Scott will not be returning next year, so we're looking for a car chief for next year, but we are keeping Zach Patterson, our tire guy. So really looking forward to it, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the first show. Hour and 15 minutes, pretty solid. But we will be on weekly. We will have a guest every episode, maybe multiple guests. I'm not sure yet. But you'll see us weekly, and we'll keep you updated what days of the week. Thank you guys very much, and we'll talk to you later. Peace out.
Dude, it's so bad.
We don't want to look like to your crew chief here.
Yeah, we don't want to look like we're soft.
Yes, is it you or the car? Oh, yeah.